Hello there. So, a week on from Crash Live 2025, and what an event it was. The best retro computer event that I've ever been to. Sinclair focused, everybody there is on the same page, everyone there is friendly. I see old faces, I see new faces. It's packed, it's full of retro goodness, and I couldn't really praise it higher. Of course, everyone, hopefully, got one of these. I didn't get mine till partway through day two, so I only saw halfway through Sunday that there was actually an arcade here, so I did actually finally go and visit every room. Again, quite busy. The next room here, oftentimes, there wasn't much space to move around. Sometimes I had to just sit outside and wait for things to clear a bit to get back in. So hopefully something can be done about that. But otherwise, the job that Chris Wilkins has done, and his family, his wife, kids, and all the volunteers as well, they do an amazing job to make it look so effortless. And obviously it takes a lot of work up front. We had, what have we got here? Yeah, Fusion Retro Books selling their wares. Hamilton Retro, who I bought something off. Thekna Shed. Yep. And of course, Retro Computer Museum, who do a fantastic job every time of populating a room with vintage computers. And given the hardships they've had recently, they've had break-ins, they've had flooding, having to keep these machines up and running. They're not just museum pieces. They're not just sitting there, they are actively being moved around. And you have, CRTs and such being moved around, and big computers that don't like being moved and shaken around in vans and such. So they're always constantly having to fix things. And it's a testament really to the dedication Mr. Spencer and all of his crew over at Retro Computer Magazine. And of course all the people showing their stuff and all of the traders just make it an amazing experience. And the 2-day thing really was what made it extra special for me, because oftentimes it's been quite rushed and you don't often get time to go around and look at things. You don't get time to see the talks, you don't get time really to talk to people. It's just a mad rush. So having the Saturday Sunday was pretty amazing, because after Saturday ended, you knew you were going to have the same thing again on Sunday. And it wasn't quite as busy, but it did feel busy. Not typical Sunday at retro events like Expo, where you can really notice that things have been dialed down a lot in terms of the numbers of people. And I went there fully intending not to spend any money, apart from, drinks and food and whatnot. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that. So things that I got from Crash Live 2025, I got one of these O cassette. And this is a 3D printed SD card holder. So no tape in there, of course. It's one of the best, I think, 3D prints that I've seen. I can't really get this to focus on it. Come on, focus. No, you're not going to focus, are you? It's been a pain. But it's a really good 3D print. Next box. And it was Ronnie, I think, who came up with the idea for these and had these things made, and Chris got a batch off him and was selling them. I don't know how well they did, to be honest. I've not spoken to Ronnie, although he has messaged me. It's terrible when someone not on your friends list on Facebook messages you, and it can be weeks sometimes before you even notice, because Facebook isn't very good. So yeah, we'll get back to you on that. But it's a lovely thing to have, a cassette inlay, and some people will probably say that this is the way things should have been done from the start, not the DVD cases, not the PlayStation Vita cases. The writing is quite small for me, and I don't know why my camera is not going focus, you little bugger. I think I've probably got it on manual focus, but I can't really change it now. But yeah, it's a great thing, and I guess it's another opportunity to sell games at the end of the day. People might prefer this over DVDs, people might be completionists and have the DVD, have the big box, and also want the cassette. You know, they want a line of Spectrum Next games, all the way around, that way, on their shelf. So yeah, I got that. The next thing I got was, thanks to my good friend Tim Gilbert on the Next team, and an adventure nut at heart he is. Lives and breathes adventure games, and I see this as, you know, kind of a part of his history really. I wasn't really aware of his work back in the day, and I saw two things actually from Gilsoft, and this is the second one. I've already got the Adventure Writer, one of the early ones, you know, with the hand-drawn artwork and such. So I saw this in a bin, not in a bin, but, you know, in a container of Spectrum software, and I thought I have to have this. It has some damage to it. The plastic here has separated. I'm not really sure how best to fix that, unless I just, you know, stick it together with tape on both sides. Not sure. So yeah, we have the cassette, we have the manual, and this, Tim told me, is a space for the 5¼ inch floppy version. And of course, unashamedly, I got Tim to sign it for me, which was lovely. Not to sell it, by the way. Don't do that. But this is a memento. This is part of the history of a friend who I would never have really met, I don't think, if I hadn't got involved in the Spectrum Next. And there's a lot of people in that boat as well. People I would never have met. And it's one of the greatest things about the Next and my involvement since 2017 is all of the people I've met along the way, and people that I talk to on a daily basis, and people that I enjoy meeting up with at these shows. So yeah, the patch, which I believe let you not convert, but I don't know, maybe convert games you'd written or adventures you'd written to have graphics and images as well. So this comes again with this manual, and it's again very small writing that I can just about read it, yeah. So again, asked him to sign it for me. So that was another thing I just had to get, you know, to add to my collection of stuff. What else did I get? I have two ZX80s at home, and one of them doesn't have a manual. So I spotted this and had to get it. It was a bit dog-eared. The front's better than the back. It has the original test program leaflet, which is really good. And the back was falling off. So I've done a tactical repair, not a very clean repair. And as you can see here, I have Pritt-sticked a piece of card along this page that was broken. I have then clumsily punched holes, not the original square holes, because I didn't have a square hole punch, round holes. And as you can see, they're not brilliantly aligned. They're not exactly perfect. But this thing now is going to be solid for the years to come. And I guess you can't really notice it that much. It's already a bit dog-eared, as I say. So yeah, now I have two ZX80s boxed with manuals. One being the, I think the original yogurt pot one, and one being the more robust plastic injection thingy. So yeah, that is the ZX80 manual I bought. Oh, and this as well, yeah. Now then, I did buy one other thing, and you can probably see in the top half of this screen, you can see there's a computer there. Long story, but I was gifted a few things as well, which really touched me. The first thing, Tim Gilbert's, lovely guy that he is, got this. Now, a number of years ago, I was wanting to expand my collection, but I didn't have the space to introduce a new computer. So I went and bought an Atari Portfolio, and obviously seeing it from Terminator 2, and being a very small size meant it could just fit into an existing space in my computer collection, and I wouldn't even notice it was there. And I got the parallel interface for it, and I began to realise it's very difficult to get communication going between the portfolio and a computer, PC or Mac, to transfer stuff over to it. You could get the serial adapter, but then you need a serial port on a PC, and I think you may need an old version of Windows. I don't know, maybe you can just use Windows 7 or something, old computer with a serial port and do that, but I don't have that. And I really wanted to see if there was a way, a better way of doing this through parallel port or something else, because I had that expansion. So I also looked at the Atari ST and a device for that, which allows you to transfer stuff over, I think it's from parallel to USB. I think it's called a PARC-P USB, and it plugs into your parallel port, presents USB, and you can connect that to a modern computer and you can transfer stuff to it. The only problem with the portfolio is that the software's not there. It runs a version of MS-DOS, 3 point something maybe, but yeah, there's no software there. So I thought, well, Tim's pretty good at that kind of thing, writing the software. He knows a lot about hardware. So I thought, I'll see if Tim can do anything. So I bought him a portfolio and a PARC-P USB, shipped that off. Of course, never heard anything. Never heard anything since. And then it was a year or so ago that someone came out with a device that is basically like a memory card for the portfolio. And you can connect it via USB, copy files to it, plug it into the portfolio. So that whole requirement for some parallel to USB interface just dried up, didn't need it anymore. But Tim obviously remembered, and he got this original Complete Beginner's Guide to the Atari Portfolio, which came out in, so this is 1989, so yeah, original. And he also got it off, I believe, the author, or one of the authors. As you can see here, Barry Thomas. And there you go, Barry Thomas. So Tim got this for me, and I was deeply touched. Thank you, Tim, for that. And now I have something to go on. I will be getting the portfolio out, and I'll be happily following through with this. Not following through. I will happily be following this manual. Just to get more hands-on experience with it, because I had nothing before. And I know you can use the web, you can find out stuff, but this is a structured kind of getting started, getting to know it. And, I'm a child of the 80s, so, reading manuals is something that we did, strangely enough. The art of the manual is dying, dead. So yeah, that was from Tim, from the show. The next thing again was a gift, and this was from Enrique. People may know him from the Spectrum Nexus, the figurehead, the master, the guy responsible for creating this whole thing. And out of the blue, he just showed me this thing, and I said, oh yeah, they're really nice then, Sinclair calculator. And I went to kind of say, that's really nice, and give it back to him. And he said, no, it's yours. I bought it for you. So again, I was hugely touched by that, by Tim's gesture and Enrique's gesture for buying me this. It's a 1976, I think, programmable one. And in reading about it, I hear that it's called the pregnant calculator, due to the fact that it has this bump on the back. And this is to take what I call a PP3, I don't know if that's still the right name for it, one of these heavy, dangerous 9-volt batteries. Dangerous because, as people will know, you stick them in a drawer, and if those electrical contacts have bridged, things start to heat up, and if you just happen to have a bit of wire wool or something in there, then the whole thing would go up in flames. So yeah, this is my oldest Sinclair thing now. Previously it was the ZX80, and it does have a lot in common with the ZX80 because it feels the same as my early ZX80, the yogurt pot one. It's the same weight, it's the same feel, so it feels like kind of a granddaddy of the ZX80. So I'm really made up to have this. Really touched and honoured that Enrique bought it for me. And I will be getting a battery for it. I will try it out. I believe it should work. I'm not sure if it has any quirks. I know some of these calculators may have given you the wrong answers to certain things. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's really great though. So thank you. And apart from the one thing that you can see, I think, up here, I think that's it. So my A3000 journey, which started in around 2016, 2017, where I bought one, fixed it up, had a working example. I had about 3 or 4 more over the years. Some were salvageable, some were not. I let them all go. Eventually kept my one, which then the Spectrum Next happened, 7 years passed, and I got it down finally, and the battery, the battery I had replaced, fitted, cleaned everything, fixed everything. The new battery had leaked, splurged all over the board, and I thought, F it, I can't be arsed anymore. To fix it again, a damaged board that's been repaired and then damaged again, I just thought, no, that's just a step too far. So I went through a year or 2 years maybe, of trying to get a replacement board, a replacement A3000 without paying loads of money. And I also bought the remade, well, not remade boards, but the someone made brand new A3000 boards, and they were unpopulated except for the surface mount components. And I thought, I'll test my soldering skills out. I built one up, spent loads on parts of course, soldered everything in, and then didn't work, and realised that I'd soldered some things in the wrong way around. I got another reproduction board and did the same thing again but better, but it still didn't work. And the problem of course is that I am taking donor components from existing A3000s, and it's not necessarily, the component may not work, and I didn't go through the proper process of populating just the essentials, then testing, then continuing. The 4 ICs on the board had sockets for them, but I'm also using heat to melt the solder to get the chips out of the originals. So I don't actually know, to be honest, if the chips worked, and I did spend a bit of time. I went on Stardot to get advice and guidance, but anyway, both of these reproduction boards that I'd built up didn't work, although I did enjoy practicing the soldering, and I got pretty good at it with this shaky hand here. And I found that using flux and actual leaded solder made things a hell of a lot easier. And when I've watched videos of people soldering and thought, how the hell do they do that? I felt more of a professional in a way. Things were just flowing beautifully. So yeah, but it didn't come to anything. Then after that, I bought a damaged board again, and I spent a few days cleaning it, putting down conductive paste and replacing broken traces with wires and such. Did a really intricate job of it, but it didn't work. Of course it didn't bloody work. So I thought, I'm going to give up on this A3000 thing for now. I might keep an eye out for one, but I'm not really in a position at the time, to buy one. And then I went to a Sinclair event last week. And as soon as I walked into the traders hall, pride of place is an A3000. Damn it. £400, which is probably more than I wanted to pay. But there are caveats there. So it was Alan who was manning the stall, and I've forgotten his surname now because it's written right here, Hamilton. And I said to him, I'm umming and ahhing about it, and if it's still here in a few hours' time, say the afternoon, this was first thing I was speaking to, If it's still there this afternoon, then I'll probably buy it. So I went about my business, met everyone, had fun, went back, A3000, sitting in front of Alan on the stall, and I said, go on then. And now I wouldn't normally buy one of these without kind of opening it up and having a good look inside, but I was told that it was non-battery damaged, was in good condition, had IDE and stuff in there. So I just went in and I bought it. It was later that I found out he actually had 4 of them. The one I saw in the morning wasn't the one I saw in the afternoon. Just as good though, just as pristine. So yeah, it was inevitable really that I was going to end up with it because he had loads of the damn things. And whenever he sold one, he could just stick another one in its place. So, £400. Oh. What did £400 get me? Well, it got me a really clean example. There's no text on here from, the school maybe that used to own it. Maybe a school didn't own this one. I've had ones with permanent marker. I've had ones where the school is etched into it. I've had chemical rivet type stuffs on them. And everything is intact. The case is not yellowed. It may look slightly yellowy here, but it's quite white. It's quite nice and pleasing to the eye. Better than any I've ever had. The badges are nice. The keys are nice. It came with a mouse, which can go for a premium at times. I mean, I've seen them between £30 and £50, sometimes upwards of that. Again, the mouse is in really good nick. Slightly yellowed compared to the button, but it's a lot better than the one I've already got. The other thing that I mentioned that came with is IDE. So there's an IDE module in here. It's got 2 compact flash cards already populated, already full of software, so I don't have to do anything. The module also has a user port, so I could plug other things into it. It has 4 megabytes of memory, and I'm struggling to think what else it has. Oh, it has Ethernet, even though the sticker is still on the back, blocking the Ethernet port. The Ethernet module is in, and the port has been added as well. The battery, importantly, has been removed and repositioned in a little battery holder away from the board, which is nice. And I think the only issues I had with it when I fired it up was the P and 0 keys didn't work. With it only being 2 keys, it's obviously not a row or a column. And I just opened up the keyboard and I placed some tape just behind here, just to elevate the membrane, fraction of a millimeter, and then the 0 and P keys worked. And that can happen with these things. It's fine. The other problem I've got with it maybe is the mouse or the mouse port itself. I think it may be the mouse because people often left these things plugged in and they put them in the loft. The mouse is still plugged in, you get the damage. This mouse came from a different A3000. This isn't the original mouse for this particular machine. It came from elsewhere. And I did see a bit of corrosion on the pin, so I probably need to pull this out, give it a good old clean, and maybe that'll be it. If not, it could be the mouse port. I may just need to resolder that, but it works most of the time. If I give it a bit of a wiggle, I may lose a button or I may lose left and right, but that's fine. And I can't really think of anything else. I've mentioned the IDE, the Ethernet, 4 megs of RAM, and I've removed the floppy drive because I have added in one of my HXC 2001 floppy emulators, which I really like for the A3000s. I have one in my other A3000 as well, the non-working one, and I just like it because it just looks alright, I've got Gotex as well, but I think the HXC really fills out the slot a lot better than the A3000 having a rectangular slot as opposed to the 3010 and 3020, which had more of a moulded case and you have to then use a Gotex. So yeah, £400, and it just works. I'll probably demonstrate that actually now. Hopefully I've not wiggled the mouse port too much. So let me just switch on this and switch him on here and see what happens. Blue is good. Ethernet, not configured. 4 meg IDE. Oh yeah, the other thing is that it came with RISC OS 2. So it had the 28-pin ROMs, 4 of those in there as well. And I had trouble having it boot from the IDE disk, which I think may be a RISC OS 2 issue. But I've got loads of spare ROMs lying around, so this is now upgraded to RISC OS 3.1. And I haven't put the full Uniboot on here because in my last one it just consumes resources. Takes ages to load, and so I decided not to do that on this one because it came with so much stuff already. And if I just switch over to here, so yeah, as I mentioned, we've got 2 compact flash cards and they can take a while sometimes to open, as you can see here. This one doesn't have as much on it as the other one, but it does seem to have backups of the 2 cards themselves. CF2 has most of the good stuff on it. Put that away. So yeah, I fired up this new look, which gives you a wallpaper option, which probably just takes loads more time to render. And we have games, of course. Xenon 2. This is the 1997 updated version of Xenon 2. Someone patched it to allow 8-channel sound, which means that above and beyond the 4 channels it used to run with, it means the music doesn't cut out channels when you're firing and explosions are going off and such. But I am rubbish at this because, well, the keys... oh, I've already clicked on it, I didn't even realise. I'm not paying attention. Left and right on this side and up down on this side doesn't really compute with my brain. I need to be up down this side and left right this side, but there's no key mapping for that. And it seems this 97 version, which is tweaked to allow VGA if you want and 8-channel sound, has lost the joystick support. So the original has Acorn joystick support, but then again this machine doesn't have joystick ports. So my A3010 does, of course. Same problem, no joystick on this new version. For these kinds of machines you need to use serial ports or some other jiggery-pokery to get a joystick. One of the weaknesses really of this range of computers. So because of the keys being messed up the wrong way around for me, I'm no good at it, and that's my excuse. So obviously with most Acorn games, they are ports from the Amiga, and therefore maybe just intend to reproduce the Amiga. I've often thought with more time and effort you could probably do something better, but at the end of the day, if you've got all the assets already, why try and improve them? So yeah, I'm not going to last very long on this. I wish I could just hold fire down actually. God, it's slow, isn't it, without the speed up thing? Yeah, it just doesn't feel natural to me with this key combination. It's also perhaps running slightly slower because... oh, I've lost me down. Sorry, I lost track of where down is. It may be running slightly slower as well because it does advise you in the README for this version that if you enable the 8 channels, it may slow down the game a bit. But to be honest, I've never thought of Xenon 2 as an incredibly smooth game anyway. I was never actually a big fan of it either, to be honest. I mean, people back in the day used to go, ooh, ah. Very pretty graphics and very typical of Bitmap Brothers, of course. But yeah, this computer was mainly a mouse experience, you know, all the vector games and such. Really, guess, designed for mouse. Your elites, your interdictors, and things like Zarch, of course. So yeah, having one that just works out the box, damn it, you know, it's a really good feeling. So I've got the A3000, I've got the A3010, and you know, I've got an Ethernet module for this, but because this setup just works, I'm really reluctant, I think, to throw Uniboot on it and get the TCP/IP stack and then plug this big 16-bit Ethernet module. It's huge. Into the back, because I just think, well, what am I going to do with it? You know, connecting to the internet is all cool and that, but and you know, sending emails. You know, sending an email from an A3000 was an interesting thing to do, interesting challenge, but it's not something I'm going to be doing consistently. So I'm just thinking of leaving this one now. I've got plenty of software, generally works. As I say, sometimes going into a folder, it can take a long time. Like now. And I'm also having, I have issues with the HXC as well, because it doesn't seem to like an ADF. The software I use to actually create the images doesn't seem to like an ADF. So I tend to have to create 720k MS-DOS floppies. So I think Zarch is in this folder here, and you can't really not play Zarch. Again, I am rubbish at this game. Is it actually working? Ooh, what happened there? So it switched modes. This worked yesterday. But we're not seeing the... It may be because Xenon 2 might still have some resources or something in use, so I'll just give it a clean boot. Lander, though, was the first thing I saw on the A3000, and it blew me away. We got the A305s maybe in school first, a couple of those. And then it was 1990, I think, when the whole computer lab was just full of A3000s, you know, banks of the things. And just seeing that, and coming from an Atari ST, you know, which was cool, and you know, that was kind of a wow moment as well. But when I saw this, I thought, holy moly. Sorry, it's in the other one. No, it's in this one. It's in Games 1, isn't it, on this? It was a real eye-opening moment to see 3D moving on this. It was almost liquid. I saw Zarch and I saw Interdictor, and one of my favourite games was Chocks Away. Let's see if it works this time. Oh, not to forget. Northwest Computer Museum. Bookmark there. I must remember to check them out, and encourage you to do the same if you're around the Northwest. Go have a look. Okay, let's see what happens this time. If it doesn't work, then it's just something really weird now, because I've not changed anything. See if okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. People often go on about the controls on this game, and yes, it does take a while of getting used to. Last time I had this up, it was on the 3010, which obviously has the 12 megahertz processor. So it's like you have to drag down in the direction you want to go. And yeah, it's not, you know, once you kind of play it and you get used to it a bit, you spend ages playing it, and finally you kind of but once you've not played it in a long while, you know, you start doing this. It's the point where you kind of forget, oh, how do I do that? How do I just go a little bit in one direction and not all out? Oh, there's a little bugger. We got that right. Ah, shit, I'm going to crash here on it. That one. I just can't hit anything. Oh shit, now I'm being attacked as well. These are little buggers, these things. Just smart bomb them. Think I've only got... Ooh. Ah, you little shit. I have completed a few levels years ago, but... where are you? Oh, you're going that way now. Can't help thinking an easier control method must be possible. Oh, that's one down, and yeah, I'm still getting confused. Not really feeling the controls here. I blew up a tree. Way. So I actually completed a level, which is pretty good. Pretty good for me. So yeah. That is Zarch. And I guess the other thing that people go on about on the Archimedes is Elite, which people say is the best version of Elite. Although, by the time I got around to playing Elite on it, it was long, long after 2017 when I kind of reconnected with the Archimedes. And obviously if I'd played it back in the day, I probably would have enjoyed it a bit more. Gives you the option of a few commanders. I think is Jameson the one that has some extra goodies on his ship? The key strip as well. I kind of remember a lot of the keys from the Spectrum days because you had that overlay. Okay, Jameson. And here we are. And, you know, I had the ST version of this back in the day, and it used a lot of dithering, because obviously the ST is quite limited with its 16 colours. And this obviously has no dithering and looks beautiful. Click mouse to continue though. Is mouse without an ear correct spelling? 1991. So some years after Elite came out originally. Okay, so I've not got anything interesting. I've only got 100 credits, and I thought maybe, yeah, okay. I guess Commander Jameson is the default in other versions of the game. So you get this nice little launch sequence, and you're basically mouse control. Little moon going around the planet there. But I do find the mouse control a bit difficult. I mean, yes, this is a ball mouse. Let's not crash into that space station. Yeah, so ball mice you tend to find are a bit, you know, probably better though than the ST one. The ST ones needed constant cleaning all the time. So yeah, what I'll probably do is shoot the space station and die horribly because I ain't got anything. Actually, trying to remember the controls. Okay. You lock a missile with a button, you fire a missile with a button. Is L lock and M fire? Don't remember. Let's just fire a couple of shots at the space station. See if we get any Vipers coming out. That moon is going round really fast, isn't it? Let's speed up a bit, see if we can encourage some police to come out. Say hello. What's the target? Okay, yes. Well, let's odd that because I'm pretty sure, well, on the Spectrum version anyway, the police would be all over that. Oh! Yep, they are indeed. The speed of this thing is a bit mad. Especially on the mouse, you know? It's like nuts. I need to calm down a bit. But yeah, I find it really difficult to track things. Oh, actually, blew a polygon off from there, I think. Do the police have ECMs? I need a joystick. Is it T to target? No, you can't answer me. Oh shit. I ain't got an ECM here, guys. Yeah, I'm doing really bad. Wow. Energy low, I'm about to die without killing anything. Yeah, 3 of them. It was all a big mistake. Come on, lighten up, guys. Shouldn't they just, try and pull me over? Boom. And I'm gone. Yeah, so I am really happy to have an A3000 in my collection again, a working one. I've got a bunch of broken stuff I probably need to sell. I'll probably just sell the cases at the end of the day. I think I've only got 1 case left, actually. And yeah, the PCBs, I might take some components off. But yeah, that was Crash, Sinclair event, and I'm talking about an Archimedes, which is a beautiful machine. I haven't actually probably said that yet in this video because it is a beautiful machine. Look at it, big, whitey beigey colour, proper. The last computer to have the BBC on it, so it's a piece of history. Not to mention, it's a RISC II, and it's the best processor ever made because it spawned a whole number of generations of RISC and ARM-based processors, which is the most popular, most used processor, I think, in the world. And this, to me, is the granddaddy of it. I know other people did RISC, but ARM did it better. So there you go. Next time, I know I've not made a video in a while and I'm just rambling here, talking shit, and if you're still here then, hopefully I've not put you to sleep. But it could be a proper next video next time, because it will be prototype boards for Kickstarter 3, so issue 5 hopefully, and I will have a bunch of stuff on my desk and I will be maybe showing it off, maybe showing some tests, boring stuff, but I guess it keeps people going, keeps people engaged through this kind of quiet as things are coming together. So the other thing about Crash, I just want to say, it's great to see people, it's great to see familiar faces, it's also great to see new faces, and reading on the group, there are a number of people who are nervous, shy about going to such an event, and I know some people who were feeling that, went, attended, had great times, and it is a great event. Everybody there is in very positive spirits. It's very uplifting, it's very friendly, everyone's on the same page. It really is the most positive environment I think I've experienced in the retro computer world. So if you're ever in doubt in terms of whether you feel up to going, you don't know anyone, just give it a go and you may like it. So that's it. Cheers.